Okay. So I think this is about where we're at the end. We're going to talk about lambdas because it's so essential. And there was a guy who was supposed to come from pretty young, like 15 years old or something. I think gave in the survey form is like super bothered or anything, but he doesn't understand lambdas. So I had these slides for him, but I think he didn't show up. So
yes, I'm actually writing a detailed study as well, like a 4-page post on lambdas, which is taking some time, but as soon as I get it done, I'll email those.
Yeah. So, lambdas. How many of you have heard or used lambdas? Okay. Even though those have used generally for, when I was starting with Ruby, for good 2 years, my thing was like, I don't know why. The first reaction is, I see them, but I don't even know why they exist, to be honest. For first year, when I learned Ruby, I don't know what they do, why they exist.
You didn't? He interviewed me at that time and asked me what lambdas are.
Lambda is the standard question. Proper lambda is the standard question in any interview.
Yeah, I was
Whether the interviewer understands it or the student understands it.
Okay, so actually I knew, but let's say, but for first 6 months or so, it's really confusing why lambdas exist in the first place. Then once you start using them, then you will think that I know why lambdas exist. You know, like they're using name scopes, a lot of things you're using, and you know that you're using them. But you wonder how, if you are defining a method in a class or something like that, you will be constantly thinking, why? You will not be able to define a method that uses lambdas. That's a roadblock that I have seen a lot of people face with 2 years or around 2 years experience actually. They're writing methods, they're using lambda, but they're not able to think that, okay, how can I define a method, how can I define this interface that needs a lambda? Or
How many people here are familiar with the strategy part? Too few for us. That's probably why. So, a lot of people that come from the enterprise Java world come in and it's a one-line explanation. You use strategies there, you don't need it anymore. But okay, I'll park that explanation since it's there.
So I'm here to try to make you understand how you can write your own method that can use lambdas. This is an example of lambda, by the way, those who haven't seen it. I'm defining a lambda and assigning it to a variable called fortune cookie, which stocks. You guys should invest in all the shitty stocks.
Of course.
And if I run this code, you should invest in Google. Okay? So, at its core, you can explain lambda as methods that don't have a name. Okay? They are anonymous methods, and those can be assigned to a variable and called by using .call. Okay?
So we talk about everything as an object. Classes are objects, methods are objects, methods are objects. But methods belong to a class. What happens if a method doesn't belong to a class? Right?
What those are your class? Pardon?
What would be your class of function?
So by the way, in Ruby you will see people interchangeably use these terms. They will say proc, they will say lambda, and they will say closure, depending on whom you're talking.
Yeah.
Even though there are actually distinctions between these things, technically if you get down to it, there are very clear distinctions between people will interchangeably use this.
So one important thing about lambdas is that they capture the local variables in the scope that they were defined.
Blocks. They also call them blocks.
So about lambdas, one important thing is that they capture the local variables that were defined. So if above the fortune cookie line, if I had a variable called something sugar equal to something defined, then that variable will be available inside this lambda forever. So you have to be very careful. You have to be careful when using lambdas. You might create memory leaks when using lambdas actually, because whatever scope that was captured by lambda, they stay forever actually. Okay. So this is a simple example of lambda. We are not going to try to. So where does that get? When program quits. Program quits.
So there was one amazing thing which we saw, I think it was the JOB code base, where the entire frame, so I'm using compiler terminology, but suffice to say that it's a substantially heavy object. was being captured by a lambda. And there was a crazy memory leak basically as a consequence. So imagine if you do something heavyweight, like a database connection. You inadvertently capture a database connection on lambda.
So there was a talk in Singapore on which where that guy was what he was doing in method missing. His point was that method missing slows down the application because this whole method missing. So in method missing, each time a method missing hook is encountered, he was defining a method dynamically using define method and hence creating a closure as a side effect. So each time a method missing is called, you're creating a closure. I point in this, you're leaking big time here. So until the whole that object itself and the class itself is garbage collected, all the instances are garbage collected of that class, those objects are there in the scope.
And you can shoot in different ways. Right?
Yeah.
This is what in Java world is called a strategy pattern. The strategy design pattern in Java or C++ exists to work around the fact that those languages do not have first class lambdas. Right?
Makes sense? You see the contrast. The second form is very cleaner, right?
But in this particular case, unless you have multiple algorithms, does it make sense to use a lambda?
Pardon?
Does it make sense to use a lambda unless you have multiple algorithms? Because this example is limited, so
No, even if it is not multiple, even if I don't have multiple algorithms, in fact, I personally will use this pattern, even just a single lambda, in fact, to clean up the code. For example, often in models or something like that, you will have to run multiple validations. Like let's say you got an array of values and you need to run some validations on them. I will define a local one-liner lambda and just chain them using and. So if one of the lambda breaks out, the whole thing will break out. I use that pattern quite often, and this is one extension of it. Say you have to shoot until he's dead actually. So this code, like it makes sense in that way. I can show you real code, Rails code where I'm using this same technique to refactor basically code that will be otherwise it will have two labels and stuff. So you can use a lambda to like as a pattern and you can plug in, like Stu said, you can plug in algorithms basically. User supplied algorithms as lambda as a strategy pattern, which is an extension of this. Any questions on this code? So do you know how will you be able to write methods that use lambda now? Go back and try in your Rails code and start writing lambda. Start define model method that take lambda.
so one question. So you say you have memory leaks.
Pardon?
So dangers of lambda, right?
Yeah.
Memory leaks. So it's so where it's probably appropriate to use lambda, and it's not probably
Yeah.
appropriate.
So one thing you have to always be careful here is one thing that I'm doing is when you define your lambdas at the top of function, even in Lisp or scheme you will see that lambdas are always defined the top scope. Because if they are defined in the top scope, they will catch lesser number of global variables actually. Okay?
And you have to be very careful especially if you're within a framework like Rails, you have to be very careful what those global variables are. Right? I don't think it's a problem in Rails, but for example, like I was saying earlier, whatever reason in your framework, there's a database connection which is available at the global level in that method. You create a lambda, it's going to capture it. Then you have a problem. So you have to be very cognizant of what variables are available in scope and what those objects actually are at that point. That's the only thing you have to keep in mind.
When you say it captures the variable, if you use that inside that variable, only if you use that inside the block, it will capture it, right?
No, that's the thing, right? When you create so that's the thing. There is no such thing as a block in Ruby. Everything is a closure. So what is a closure? It basically says all variables which are currently available on stack are still available inside this. So when you go inside the lambda, all those variables, all those objects are now referenced within. So because of
The entire environment is available.
the entire environment is available, that's the important thing. to keep
So
in
I will
mind.
play a little bit nitpicking a little here.
Sure.
Stack is again scoped actually. So the entire thing that is there on the stack but within the scope.
Yeah.
So this method might have this currently running code have a number of other things on the stack as well, but it will only capture
What is in
there,
the current scope?
What is in the current scope. So it will in this case it will only capture these three variables, nothing else.
And it doesn't have to do with whether you reference it or not. In fact, in Ruby, don't know whether you reference it until it runs. It's not doing that kind of inference. So anything which is within that scope available remains available and a reference is maintained, which means that is no longer garbage collectible until the lambdas are also.
So
If this code goes out, the lambda gets
garbage collector, yes, the lambda will be garbage collector.
So lambda is just another object, same rules. When the lambda gets garbage collected, all its references get garbage collected.
So
Assuming that.
so this shoot, there will be a shooter there, right? So I have just defined a outside orphan method here, but it will be typically inside a shooter class. So when the shooter guy is dead himself, like they're writing a game called Counter-Strike, for example, when the shooter is dead, then this the whole object will be garbage collected, and the lambdas will be garbage collected, and whatever they were referencing inside will be garbage collected.
It's all about, putting it into a right scope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Rails, for example, like if you are defining things in controllers, controllers are initialized on each request. Remember that. So whatever you define inside as lambda inside controller, for example, it
Will get garbage collected.
will be garbage collected on each request. So you should really happy to use it if you should not put a lot of code in controller anyways, but if at all, just making an example. Okay, make sense? Okay. Blocks and lambdas. So blocks are nothing but a sort of lambdas. They are like larvae. They're like like just small babies. They don't exist. Blocks cannot exist on its own. Okay. They need they are like parasite. They need a host to survive, and often that host is method actually a method. So, but a block and a lambda can be. You can take a lambda, make it a block. You can take a block, make it a lambda. So that conversion is there. So they are brothers in arms. So for example, I have rewritten this method called main parser using blocks. It doesn't take a lambda. Now the code is somewhat cleaner. We can see the same parse file name. There is no explicit mailer object I am passing here, and I'm do some focus with file name, and I'm yield. Yield is what calls the parse block. Yield that mail object. And ensure that file name is true. You can see that this code is cleaner. Now the interesting thing about this is what next slide. This green thing is what basically your block is, and this is where you are calling the code.
So functionally, this is exactly the same as the previous example. The only difference is the replacement of the yield keyword and the implicit passing of the block. If you notice, there is no block being passed on it. It says file. That block implicitly, magically is available via the yield keyword. The other interesting thing is, remember I was talking about things not being objects. This particular block never actually gets an object reference. It's a performance.